like how people, they get stuck in savior mode. I was talking to Mercedes a little bit before this, and how spiritual people have been conditioned into certain ways of thinking and believing in that. And what is acceptable, not acceptable, and different things. So it's trying to understand the different dynamics and how to navigate everything, because there's a lot of new age stuff in that, and there's a lot of disrespect to just about every belief and culture on the planet. There's a lot of people that go into Buddhist temples and they hang the flags and they do the namaste, they do all the different things, but they don't really follow, live, or believe or practice any of it. They have their own philosophies and beliefs around it. There's people that go to native spirituality under the concepts of power. And when you're a native, you grow up in this way. It's a part of your cells, it's part of your ancestors, it's part of the way you breathe, think, and live and do things. And like I say, there's a lot of stuff in there, and every culture has their own little rules and regulations. So I was referring to saving people, Christianity, New Age spirituality, and that is when we're children, we go into some form of saving mentality, and we make that decision with inside ourselves. We see a weakness in mom, we see a weakness in our friends or families or aunts or uncles, and we feel sorry for that individual at a very, very early age. And because we have compassion, we're healers and all sorts of things, we sacrifice ourselves. We do all kinds of things when we're in our mother's womb sometimes, and we're just forming as a fetus, as we absorb really lots of things from mom, dad, and the whole environment. And we come into the world and it distorts who and what we are. So this savior mode can be really, really confusing, and questioning yourself, why am I in this? Why do I feel undeserving, and yet the whole world, I feel, deserves everything, and I'll sacrifice myself or my energy or my lifestyle or this and that to do something to change everybody else, and I don't think I'm deserving of something special or good. And why did God give me these gifts or that gifts, and why am I using it for everybody, and sometimes I need things. So what is it do I really need, and am I expending too much energy on other people and there's not enough for me? And how do spiritual people support one another without going into savior mode either? It's like I support and I help people and I teach and I do all kinds of stuff, and I believe in giving people answers. I believe if they have the answer and they're really truly wanting to heal or change, or they want something bigger in their life, they're going to access that knowledge and they're going to work with it. In working with it, they're going to find a lot of amazing changes. And then once things change, they'll be very excited. They may come back to ask for more. And you support them. You're there to sort of help them walk through minefield, a maze, a room full of mirrors, whatever you want to see it as, because there's a lot of different things that go on when you're walking through to get to this new place you're seeking. In the whole thing is it like, are you willing to let go of the past? Because some people want to hang on to the past and they try to carry it into the future, and it distorts things because there are things there. It's like, I always believe if people are really your friends, you can never leave them behind. Somebody you knew when you were 10 years old and now you're 60, and you went to school, and somewhere you and that person were one of the best friends. Somewhere, even at the age of 60, they show up. It was like there was no 50-year difference. And this is the real truth around friends and people and life and relatives and all kinds of things, is you live your life, and whatever is meant to be there, you can't get rid of it. You can spray mosquito dope on it. You can get all kinds of different stuff, and you can try to spray people. You can put holy water on them and try to make them run away and disappear. They're still going to show up no matter what you do. And these are really true, authentic people. They're they're friends, they're whatever, and they're gonna be there way into the future no matter what, and they're gonna support you in many ways. Because what I do and I teach people is a lot of times people is like, I don't believe him. I think he's deceiving. He gave me that look. He's going, maybe I had a piece of dirt in my eye. I'm going like this, trying to get it to clear off because I'm trying to channel something and I don't want to stick my finger in my eye and try to remove it. Then I'm trying to stay focused on what I'm channeling. And the person is not really sure. And they still don't know if they want to change. Like, do you really, really want to change? What is it you're going to do to change? Some people move out of their hometowns that they spent all their life, like I did. I left the Arctic to change. I got to Edmonton and it was a scary thing, but I made that decision. Then I decided to go on lots of different things and study a lot of stuff. And I put myself in that and I sat and listened and I'm like, some things I'm like, not too sure about this, but I'm going to keep at this until, because if it isn't a truth somewhere, it's going to release. And when the time is, I move on and I start the next thing. And it's like this one person I met over 30 years ago. I met her at a native healing circle down on Skid Row. And we became friends. And in the native way, after a few years, I adopted her like my sister. She went her way, and I thought we were going to part ways, maybe never see one another again. And then we reconnected. Then I've parted ways, and then we reconnected. And here we are still 30 years later, we're still friends. And no matter what, it's like there's no distance, no anything. Wherever she goes or I go, there still seems to be some form of a connection. And we're not doing anything to create this friendship or happiness or anything. There's just some sort of energy bond. And I like helping her, and like I say, she's has an awareness and she's been a part of a lot of things. So I try to help her, and there's times where I'll phone her up and talk to her, but we'll talk and discuss things, and I don't try to save her. I'm like, she's a grown woman. She does this, she does that, and so if she wants to talk to me, she can let me know and we can talk things out, but I don't go into, well, I have to save her. I believe somehow she's going to save herself and find herself in the future. It's like I believe I'm going to save myself and I'll find myself in the future. And I always tell people I would like to see you there. I'd like to see you in the future after all this craziness is done. And we're all standing there and we can all shake hands and celebrate and start a whole new journey, creating and doing things. But somehow there's some kind of an energy or support or something that's really, really deep and strong that's pulling you along this path. So saving somebody, like I did it when I was young with my family. There was so much dysfunction and stuff in my community, and I didn't think I was deserving and all kinds of stuff. So I would put all my energy and thoughts and prayers into all kinds of other people. It didn't matter if I didn't have a place to sleep, or if I had clothing, or if I had food, or if I had anything. It was, my focus was wanting to see other people have something or something better for them, and so I put all my energy into it instead of begging the universe to give me something nice or whatever. I would put a lot of energy into doing all these other things, and I spent like 40 years of my life doing this. It's like everywhere I went, everything I did is I would put a lot of energy, time, and effort into praying for everybody else. I believe God's going to give me things, but I never asked. I didn't think I was really that deserving, that, that somewhere maybe something good can go on. And there were people out there who sometimes wanted to gift me things, or they wanted to do something for me. But there were times it's just like I wasn't receptive. I wasn't accepting of it. And it took me a long time to learn that. My granddad says, when I was a still a young boy, he says, one of your problems throughout life is your pride. He says, sometimes you need to ask people for help. Sometimes you need to allow people to help you. And he says your life is going to be very challenging and very, very hard because of this pride you carry inside yourself. He says even if you're starving to death and you're on your last breath, you're still not going to ask people to assist you. Even when people are around offering you things, you won't take it. And he says there's something in that you have to learn. And one day I realized, I'm like, man, I gotta change this because there's something that's backwards. It's not right. And
How long did it take you?
45, 46 years of my life. It's just like in the last 14, 15 years, I've been saying, okay, I deserve things. I'm willing to receive. I'm open to having help. I'm open to lots of different things. And a lot of people have showed up and a lot of magical things happened in lots of different ways. And I really appreciate that. And I'm really thankful. And some people don't understand it. And for me, there's something inside. It's like I say, they're memories. Like build your memories, create your memories. And sometimes you reach out people and maybe they're having a difficult time at that time. And maybe they're not receptive in what you're asking and that. And so maybe in that moment, because they're going through something, they're not listening to you, and maybe you feel they can help you in some way, but they're not clear in their mind either. There's all this chaos going on, and they're saying, yeah, 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 and they're not, realizing that maybe they can step up and help you in some way. And so, like I say, sometimes you go back a few times, sometimes to a person, and you sort of discuss things. Like I say, communication is really big. Not everybody reads minds. Not everybody can glimpse your future and go, well, this is the problem, this is where I can assist you. And there's a lot of things. Some people, they don't understand they deserve way more in life, but they'll stay over at McDonald's and they'll stay in the minimum wage and they'll spend 20 years working in there. When they maybe can become a manager and move off in a different direction, get hired at a place and get a salary. Instead of making $20,000 a year, they could end up making $150,000 a year. But they don't perceive it, they don't understand, they don't comprehend. And sometimes people reach out and try to present opportunities, and we don't hear it. It's there for us. So this is where it's like, are you receptive? Because the universe, if you really, really want change or you really want things and stuff, there are things that are already yours. There's a lot of different kinds of things that are there, and there's lots of things trying to assist. So do you really deserve whatever it is? Lots of people, they pray for things, never really manifested or anything, and somebody else prays and it happens the next day. I was like, I spend my life praying for this, but how come that guy just prayed and the next day he's got all these blessings, and I've been praying for the last 35 years for this thing, and I just keep asking the universe, but inside that person is I'm not deserving. So however the universe is trying to bring it, it never lines up. Maybe somebody is coming to offer something that's going to open the door and step it in this direction, that direction. Really, really neat one was I went to a psychic place in Edmonton years ago. And I was in my, I'm telling the universe what to do. No, I'm boss. I'll tell you what to do. It's going to be my way or the highway. And so I told the universe, I'm going to go get a psychic reading. I'm going to this place. I'm going to sit down and I'm not going to choose a reader. Whatever reader I sit with, I'm going to tell them, I just want you to read and tell me whatever you want. So I get sent to this guy's table and he's sitting there and he's shuffling around. He's bored. All these other readers in the room are all doing readings. And he sees me and he says, sit down. So I do, and we sit across from one another, and he says, what's your name? And I say, Joe. And he says, so do you want a reading? Is there something specific? I'm like, no. They'll just channel whatever, and I just want answers. Because this is what I believe, and this is what I'm going to make happen. And he says, okay, and he closes his eyes, and I have to say my name 3 times, and he tunes into my voice frequency that triggers him, and his eyes just start going, like just flicking and everything, and he's sitting there, and he says, I can only tell you what I'm seeing. I'm like, good, because whatever you're seeing is going to say that I'm right. I mean, I've been telling the universe this for a while. And he says, I see you up in Edson. I'm like, Edson? Are you insane? I never want to be in Edson. When I drove through there, I couldn't stand the energy. I'd never dream of living in there. Even if I was a million years old, this was my way of thinking. And same with Hinton. He says, I see you up in Hinton. I'm like, no, 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 that's not going to happen. He says, well, this is what I'm seeing and this is what I'm telling you. I can only tell you what I'm seeing. And I'm like, okay. So he's giving me all these answers and stuff, and I believe I'm going off to Vancouver Island to do my own thing. And I already told the universe the plan, and I had everything lined up. And he's like, "Nope, that's not gonna happen. I don't see that." And he's telling me all this stuff, and he says this guy's gonna show up, and he's gonna do this, and it's gonna lead from this thing to this thing. Then this person's gonna show up, and he's gonna offer something that's gonna do this and all these other things. And I'm like, man, you're out to lunch. I'm like, I don't know, but whatever. So he did the reading, and I left there, and I says, okay, universe, did you guys short circuit him and tell him to give me the stuff? Because I told you, this is my plan, this is what's going on, you know, where I'm going to be. And my whole life took a big turn. This guy shows up, and he meets me, and he says, I think I got a job for you. I'm like, you got a job for me? I don't know who you are. And he was from out of town. So he says, you come up, he says, you take a look at it, this and that, and the job is yours. And I'm like, but you don't know anything about me. And he's offering me, and he's like, yeah, you come and stay at my place. You don't have to worry. He's like, the work's there. So after 3 months of contemplating this, I phoned the guy up and said, okay, I'll come on up, I'll look at, see what's there. And I ended up going to work there. And it led to a lot of work and a lot of change. Another person showed up, they did something that opened the doors and brought a lot of different things. But if I wasn't willing to be receptive, things could have changed and went in a whole other different direction. And if it did, then, like I say, by not accepting, I would have never ended up meeting Cindy, because, like I say, this opened doors and other things in different directions, but it was different people offering and suggesting things, and I was willing to be receptive and step into that energy. And they just gave me little answers and that just supported me in the direction I was going. So these kinds of things, and like I say, you have to change that. You got to realize, if you're going to really, really be beneficial to the world and other people, you also need the things that are yours. Like if you're meant to have a home, to have somebody come and some way you help them or you create a business around it, and the universe is blessing you and supporting you to sustain it all, then once you have that and the universe gave you and you received it however it came through, now you have that, and everybody comes to you is going to receive their blessings, and as they get their blessings, you will get your abundance and whatever else. So you have to receive something. You can't be sitting down on Skid Row saying, oh, I'm going to be a Reiki master and I'm going to be working out of this place. I'm going to have this house and I'm going to be doing all these things, but you're sitting out down on Skid Row and you're not deserving because you don't feel you deserve whatever the universe is trying to bring you, or the right person coming and suggesting that you do something. So when you go, okay, I'm open to receiving now, however that's going to come in, however that's going to bring change. And it's really, really interesting how people start showing up. Like for me, I could be sitting in a mall and I've talked to the universe. I want answers and this and that on this subject, and some strange person's walking through the mall. They see me, they come over and they say, here, this book is for you, read it. I'm like, what? I don't know you, why are you giving me a book? I'm like, oh well, the guy just walks away. I'm sitting here holding the book, and I take it home and throw it in the corner. 3-4 months later, I decide, well, might as well read the book. It's not going to hurt me. Something in it. And I read it, and I'm like, damn, I should have read it as soon as I got it, because all my answers are in this book. It's like this person came, and whatever, I received this book in some way. If I had read it, I would have had all my answers. But I prolonged it for a period of time because I wasn't really trusting, and I'm like, but the book can never hurt me. I mean, I read it, it's going to say a whole bunch of stuff, and I decide to share it with people or gift it to somebody or whatever. It's like things move on. So all these different kinds of things are important to recognize. And where do you fit in the scheme of whole things? Are you at the bottom of the totem pole? Or are you at the top of the totem pole? Are you in the middle of it? And that dynamics, everything, because everything has to be on the totem pole the way it's designed. And, you know, if you're in the middle, you can't just go, oh, I want to be on the bottom, supporting and holding everybody up. You're stuck in the middle. So however that works, whatever that's all about, it's like when you have the right kinds of energy and things, the universe works through you. I always say I'm a conduit, I'm a channeler, I'm whatever the messages or things, whatever angels, spirits need to come through, I'm willing to share that. And so this is where I let the universe work with me. I always tell the universe, where do I belong? What do I need to do? And when I get to a certain place, everything starts coming to me and start happening. And it's quite interesting. And some people, they have a fear of praying. Maybe they got angry at the church when they were a child, and the preacher always told them what to pray, and their parents and that, so now they don't want to pray. Oh, it's a mystery, it's a secret. It's like, ooh, maybe it's abracadabra, because abracadabra is a prayer, and it means something. So it's like, what is it you're doing? Or are you caught up in savior mode, or you're caught up in I don't deserve? Different kinds of dynamics that maybe holds an energy in front of you. And even people that are supposed to come, like maybe you go to a psychic and says, oh yeah, this guy's going to show up and all this, and he's going to support you and you're going to create a business, but you're holding this energy, and this guy comes along and he's looking, and you have this big wall and energy and he can't see you. And you don't want to receive and accept, you don't feel deserving, so that energy keeps pushing them away. And one day you're just like, okay, universe, I had it. I can't make it. I can't do it. I don't know how I'm ever going to have what I'm supposed to have. I'm just going to allow you to bring it to me, and I'm going to be open and receive this. So there's lots of different things that factor into things, and it's like sitting with yourself. And what is that belief? Because the belief can put a big wall. Just as simple as little as kind of belief. You see everybody else manifesting and doing things all around you, and it's like, why is it so easy for them, and why is it not working for me? Everybody up for the prayer?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I think tonight we'll...
Tell them the instructions.
The instructions?
The instructions.
What are the instructions?
You say it every time, so you're good at it.
What do I say? Why is my memory so bad?
All right, Mercedes has got a brain fart, so Joe's going to do the prayer. Just invite your angels and guides to come in, welcome in the energy. Just follow along with the prayer and give permission.
And relax.
Yeah. And if you're afraid and it's new to you and you don't trust, call in Archangel Michael to stand there with a flaming sword if that's what you need to do.
Hashtag Joe jokes, but not really.
But some people, they need that to feel safe. Some people need a Bible. It's like, some people, they need different kinds of things. So we're just going to say the prayer, and we're going to allow and call in all that is the knowing knowledge, what comes from God and creation, that already is intelligent and knows everything. What does it want to do to you, for you, and what is it going to even help you way into the future? If you're a part of the future, there's something going to come in and it'll bring change. So we'll just start. I'll call the Creator, the central sun, one that created all things, the universal light forces in everything, in billions of other worlds, galaxies, and universes. And we call that energy through the sun into this universe to bless every planet, every last being, and that with what they need in this evolution, because whatever our planet is doing, it's affecting all of them. in some way, in some form, they're being affected. So they need blessings also. So we ask the Creator to do that. Then we ask the Creator to bless the earth and all beings, animals, whatever is on the planet. That's energy that needs to receive this, and for it to come to the earth, to our homes, down through the roof, into our home, into our minds and our bodies. To fill our minds, our body, our aura, our chakra, our etheric, because our etheric goes higher and higher and higher above us. So there's a lot of space and a lot of energy to be filled with God's energy, God's knowledge, God's peace, God's wisdom, God's love, God's whatever it is you believe. And you want it to come in, you want it to help change you. You want it to help you to have peace around your dreams, around your thoughts, around your visions, around whatever is going on. If you're really addicted to watching TV and listening to all the chaos, you want to get it to help you to find peace and change that. Change it to find answers, change it to find whatever, to open up your home to have even more angels, more blessings, more light. So you don't have to go to the church on Sunday and yell glory, hallelujah. Once you step out of the church, you run home and you hide for the rest of the week till you go to church again. You can have it in your home all the time. You can have Jesus in there. You can be walking back and forth in your living room all day if that's what you need and want. But this is where you give God permission to come in. And he needs to come inside you. I always say, speak through me, see through me, hear through me. Because if God's doing that, you always have the knowledge, the wisdom. You always have the answers. You don't have to think. It's just there. It's called channeling. Or they open your third eye and they show you something and they just get you to tell it to the person. And all these kinds of things. And you ask that anything that's trying to shut you down, come down, close your energy, try to get inside, yeah, it doesn't belong there. Whatever it is. So ask God to look at it and see why this happens and deal with it. And ask for that energy to expand your brain, all the millions and millions and millions of little magic doors in your mind, the ones you need to open, to understand, to walk into the future, to have that knowledge, to have that peace, to have that joy inside, to have the grace, to have the abundance, to be receptive to all the things you created even before you were born. Because the world makes you believe you have to create and manifest things that are not really not yours, and you won't find yourself happy in any of it until you actually really manifest your own. You get shown in dreams, you get shown, psychic people tell you stuff, but you'll blow it all off because the world tells you, well, if you do this, then this is going to be happy, and in the end, you're going to find you're going to be miserable. And when you finally really let God put you right where you're meant to be, and you create and manifest that joy and happiness, you're going to have everything. You're going to be so happy, and it's just going to grow, and you're going to live in that energy, and you're going to have every good thing come to you. So let God bless this, and then drop it into your third eye. Ask your third eye to get clear, whatever is there distorting it. There's so many thoughts and beliefs, and especially in the New Age. The New Age likes removing things. Tells you all this stuff, and it removes things, because there are laws and there's all kinds of other things that are very ancient and old. Just because they say it's New Age doesn't mean you can just shove this whatever universal rule or something out of the way and just say, well, I can do this if I want to. And maybe it's going to cause friction, and it may change your life because maybe it's something that's important. So ask to have this removed, any fears, any kind of doubts, and ask for clarity in what you're seeing in your dreams, where you're going to be, what you're going to do. It's your life, so ask to see it. Drop down into your throat chakra. Ask God to work through you. So if you're meant to be a channeler, whatever it is, it's coming from the universe, it's going to help the world. If you're meant to work as energy and you're being guided to share things with people, whatever stories and things, it's going to change people's lives. It's going to stay with them. Whatever you speak and do, it's going to come from the universe through love, through patience, through kindness, through wisdom. And it's going to stay with a person, don't matter how long, and it will change their life. It will do something really, really big for them. Drop into your higher heart, ask God to bless it, to even have more clarity, because it's always knowing everything 5 minutes before your brain does. Drop into your heart chakra and ask God to bless it with angels, guides, spirits, healers, helpers, with the fourth and fifth dimension, future energies, knowledge, blessings of every kind, language, race, for the animals, for the trees, for the beings in other planes, for the earth mother. Whatever needs to flow through you, God makes your heart a sacred temple for all these things that go on that you don't have to command. You don't have to worry and think about it. It's just there working through you. Drop into your solar plex. Ask that to be healed. All cords, all contracts, all people, all the other lifetimes you've lived, and all those things you brought from other lifetimes. If they've served their purpose and they don't need to be there anymore, the universe remove it. That's even people and things, negative situations, learning, challenging things, whatever. And that gets lifted out and call back all your pieces, everything you've given out in other lifetimes in this one, and ask for all these things to come in you, because you need to use these gifts. You need to use all these things to help yourself, because once you do, you're going to help others. And when you have everything you need, you're just going to be able to give to any person that needs your help. You're going to be able to do it, and you're always supported. And allow yourself to release any kinds of beliefs from childhood, because maybe there's something interfering that's just stuck there. And the universe never takes anything from you unless you're willing to give it or release it or have them take it away. But you have to want to desire this. They will not take nothing from you. If you smoke cigarettes and you always say, I want to quit, I want to quit. And you pray, but you don't really want to quit because you like smoking. The universe won't come in and assist you and help you in that way, because the universe knows you like smoking and you really don't want to quit. So it's not going to take it from you. Even if you had cancer and your lungs are ready to explode and you can't breathe and you're lighting a cigarette. I've seen people with oxygen tanks. They got the oxygen thing on and their lungs can barely work, and they're going outside and they got this oxygen tank on. They're told not to light anything around it, and they're sitting there smoking while they got this oxygen tank going. And their lungs can just barely, and yet they're putting this smoke and nicotine in, which is not good. But they don't want to quit. Not doctors, nobody's going to stop them. So the universe doesn't take anything you don't want to let go of. So ask the universe what it is you need to release, and trust in it. Trust that these things will change and go away, and then it'll get replaced with new. Whatever is new. Because as you move forward, you're going to walk away from the old. And you start finding all kinds of things that make you happy, and people and things. So give permission for all of that. Drop into your soul, sacral, and ask that get healed with the third dimension. Ask to get the new future energies, the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, whatever it is you're going to absorb. Whatever you need to create, however it's going to help you get in the future. There are also new angels, guides, spirits, new ultraviolet energies, new all kinds of things that whatever it is, it's going to fill you, and it's going to literally change you. It already knows how to do everything. These energies are very, very intelligent. And when you're really, really wanting this, they will come in and they will really transform you. It was like Jesus in the Bible. He says the energy came out from out there, came inside me like a white dove, and it changed and made me this. It transformed him. So allow that, allow the healing. Women, they really need to heal their sacral. Same with men. We've abused the sacral energy for thousands of years. It's burned out. And we need that healing. We need that new energy. So ask for that and allow it to come in. Allow, because you're going to feel changes. You're going to feel energy. People freak out right away. Is it alien? Is it evil? Is it good? Is it bad? Like, sit in it for a while. If it's making you happy and bringing you good things, I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think any alien or demon is going to try to make you happy to deceive you or bless you with all kinds of beautiful things. So when you pray these things, sometimes you need to just sit in it for a little while and not let your brain just go all over. Let it transform you. These things are alive and they're very, very intelligent. Drop into your base chakra, release all fears, hurts, anything that is old. Base chakra, lower, stuck in the lowest root chakra, whatever is in there, let them take it. Doesn't need to be there anymore. After thousands of lifetimes, have it removed. Have the newness come in. And just sit in it. Let it show you what it's all about. Let it teach and help you. And then drop into the Earth Mother, letting her clean, clear, help you with ancestral stuff. Anything in your home or your family and that's a vibration that doesn't vibrate in the right way. The Earth Mother will change it. You don't have to tell her what it is. She's over 4 billion years old. She's very intelligent. She created all life forms and she knows all things and she knows what she's creating into the future. So just allow her to assist you in these ways and call her into your home to bless it, to fill it with love, light, energy, for her to support you wherever you go, whatever it is you need. Wow, whatever it is going to support you in your life, whether you need food or you're seeking a home or whatever it is. If you're meant to live out in the country, she will find a way to help you get that. Let her come in and do this for you. Call in her children, the 4-leg, 2-leg, wing ones, furry ones, feather ones, standing people, rough people, sky people, water. Call in the atoms, protons, electrons, the hydrogen, the mana, the prana. They're living life forces. They have knowledge and awareness. They have all kinds of things, and when you start letting them work with you, they will show you all kinds of magic. But they will not do something if you're commanding and telling them what to do. And sometimes they'll just wait. They'll wait 10 years, 20 years, but when you're ready to really allow them, they'll come in and they'll do many wonderful things. Call in your star brothers and sisters, call in all your angels, all the universal beings, teachers, healers, helpers, avatars, gurus, God, whatever spirits you believe that are there, your ancestors, anything that is good that's meant to be there. Ask it to come in and fill everything in your life, and also to protect each person in your family, because whatever you're doing, maybe they're not ready for it. Maybe some of the knowledge you've gained in spirituality, they're not ready for it, so they need to be safe in their own, and they need to be there, and you need to just ask God to protect them. Call in the spirits east, south, west, and north, and ask that to be with you in morning, afternoon, evening, and night. And ask God to bless this, to truly make this part of your life, every breath, no matter where you are, that it's just blessing everything around you and it's just changing things. But also ask that your head is protected. Nothing interferes. No one channels your knowledge. Nobody pulls on your energy. Nobody seals your energy or your head or anything up in any way. Nobody has a right to do that to any other human being. Ask to see your own stuff because it belongs to you. And if you know somebody is violating that, ask the universe to stop them from seeing and interfering with what's yours in the future. And I ask God to bless you all, your homes and your lives, wherever you are on this planet.
Hey. There's a lot of new people to your live, and they got to catch your prayers, and your prayers are always so big and expansive. There's a new one on YouTube, on the YouTube channel, Joe Fox Streamer, if you guys are ever interested in listening to it at a different time. What is your questions for Joe? Just so you know, this is an eagle feather in Joe's hand, and it works with him, he works with it, in clearing energies. I've had a problem because of religious trauma and false beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
It's stuck. Do you have anything you could share with that?
Lots of times, like even me with residential school, religion and all these structures and that, it really angered me. And like I say, at times, even me, it's like I knew about prayer because my granddad had taught me, but when I got put in residential school, And we used to have to go to the church every Sunday. We had to put on suits and everything, and the preacher would scream with his big Bible and slam it and yell at us that the devil was going to come and take us all and put us in hell and burn us. So he did really lots of damage and trauma and lots of fear, lots of other things. One thing I found, it was my anger towards all of that. Because as long as I was angry at that, I wasn't okay with learning and growing spiritually in other ways. When I sat with my granddad, I would listen because I knew whatever he was teaching me was important. And he would talk about a lot of things. And he says, one thing I would have to learn in life too is my anger. He says, there's something you'll have to learn and somewhere, understand that and then move on from it. He says, it may take a long time. He says, you're going to go through life and you're going to go through lots. He says, but one time way in the future, one day you're going to sit down and you're going to start understanding everything. And I was angry at a lot of things because of the minister that ran the residential school I was in. And he said a lot of things. And I started getting curious. Well, why are the Jews special to God? Why they believe they're gonna somehow rule the planet, or whatever their beliefs are. And then the ones that pray to Buddha, it's like, why are they special? Why do they have a nirvana? Why they have all these things? And I started looking at all these other cultures, and I'm like, why do they believe they're the ones that are going into the universe? And us natives, for whatever reasons, whatever we're doing is wrong. And I'm like, we believe there's life in everything. That there's not one thing anywhere that doesn't have the Creator's energy or love or anything of the kind. And so this is where I had to really look at a lot of stuff, and I had to investigate. And investigating and reading and studying, I had to go to the ceremonies. I had to literally start talking to people. I had to go to Buddhist temples, and I had to go to different kinds of things. I had to go to a lot of different native cultures, spirituality, sweat lodges, different ceremonies and that. And I had to want to be open to ask questions. Because in the natives we say grandmothers and grandfathers. We don't say angels. We say ancestors, because there were ancestors who were spiritual and loving, and some of them are still around us. They're doing all kinds of things to help us. So we have our ways of saying things, but then other cultures have the same thing, and you can recognize the simplicity. Because if we take all the confusion out of everything, you'll find it very, very simple. Like Christianity can be one of the most confusing things, but then in another way, it can be a very simple thing. Like you go to Tibetan Buddhism, and in there they have many, many, many higher realms, like all kinds of higher realms. They don't call them heavens, there's higher realms, there's places where you go. If you do right things and everything, you'll go to a higher place. And there's a lot of good things there. And then they have what they say is over 10,000 hells. And there's millions of demons and spirits and things in these lower hells. So when you think of it in Christianity, man, I just gotta fear Satan and the devil, man. I mean, they got some other guys in there, but these are the two I have to fear, and there's only one hell. Whereas you're a Christian, you're like, well, I'm scared of this, I'm gonna go to Buddhism, and then you find through Tibetan Buddhism, it's like, whoa, there's a bigger dynamic here I gotta deal with. I get curious. Because in Buddhism, they have 5 teras. There's 5 of them. There's a white one, green, blue, red, and yellow. And these teras, if you know what the color is and what the different things are, you can call them, they're like angels. If you ask the white tera to come in, she will be coming in to look at things to heal you and help you. So if you have a picture of a tera on your wall and it's a certain color, investigate what she's all about and why you have that in your home. Because I go into homes and I'll go, oh, I know this tera here. Some of them you'll see them blue, some of them you'll see in different. And I'm like, and this person has it there. It's like, oh, I really like this picture. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I really liked it. So I bought it and stuck it on my wall. Well, it's like an angel, guardian angel. And each Terra does some kind of healing assistance help with your life. And you came across a picture and you brought it and bought it home. Well, that Terra wants to be there to assist in some way. So maybe you need to read up on it and learn about it, because when you do, you can start finding happy things. You can talk to that picture and that Terra and let them know, well, these are the things I'm willing to accept and receive, and these are the things I'm asking help for, and other things. And you start understanding there's a deeper depth to everything. It's like in native spirituality, it's like we have a thing called a vision quest. And we go and we fast and we pray and we ask to see the future. Whatever our life is, whatever our journey is, wherever we're going, what we're going to do. And these things come into be shown to us. It's ours, it's our life, we're going to walk through it. So we get little glimpses, little things. And you pay attention to it. I know the Jews, they have a ceremony. They go in the desert in Israel and they spend a month there and they do a vision quest. They do fasting, they do prayers, they do chants, and they do it over 1 month in a different way. They have all their rituals, but in a month's time they have the same outcome as I would if I went up in the mountains and prayed. So when you really, really start searching for this, you find spirituality might seem really, really big, but once you start putting all these pieces together, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. As it gets smaller, you realize you're only on a ball. So this is the earth, it's a ball. And it's spinning and spinning and spinning, and it's moving around the sun and in space, doing its thing. And then this UFO from this other planet is coming. It doesn't stop and say, oh, geez, look at that. Oh, those people are the white people. Oh, those people. This thing comes and says, oh, look at all of that. Huh. The people of that planet. And you start realizing we're all just from the earth. And all cultures at one time said they were the children of the earth. Every culture. As far back you can go, you'll find words that said, I am a child of the earth, because it's the food and everything your mother eats and that nourishes your body, to give you the body, the vessel to be in, to grow up and live in, and it comes from the earth. When you die, your body goes back into the earth. So you're a child of the earth. And these things, you start finding these connections. And then it's same with the way people pray, the way people do things. Everybody has different ways. And I like in some native ceremonies, we use 4 flags. We have a flag for the north, we say it represents the white people. We have a flag for the east, is red, and we say that's the native people. There's a flag in the south, which is yellow, we say it's for the orientals. There's a flag in the west that's either blue or black, and we say that's for the people from Africa. So we have like 5 flags. The Tibetans, like I said, they have the white, yellow, red, green, and blue. That's their 5. You look at their prayer flags, they have them hanging everywhere. You'll see these 5 colors, and they have written prayers on them. We give prayer flags in our ceremonies to the universe. The Tibetans, if you go to Tibet and you go high in the mountains and you go to some of these stupas and that, they're covered in flags, in prayer flags. People bring these and they leave these colored flags for the universe, for the prayers and other things, and for blessings. So people are giving that, and you start seeing these connections. And if you look at every race and culture, where did their belief come from? It came from out there in the universe. It was brought and was blessed and given to them. So they have their doorway into the universe. They have a practice and things that gets them into whatever direction they're going in their belief system. Every culture has that. And if you remove all the negativity, which spirituality is about, is looking for the light. You want to look for the light. You want to look for it in every person and everything. Every time you go into a spiritual practice or new age energy or anything, you're looking for the light. You're trying to find the truth. And it all comes from the Creator.
Smokum said, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
It really helped. Can you explain to those that are listening how you're channeling? How do you do it? Is it angels? It is guides? What's it like for you?
I don't know, you explain how you channel, Cindy.
I answered the question and they asked to understand how you do it. So I knew you were going to turn it on me.
Well, everybody does it. Everybody connects to the universe. Everybody gets answers, but they think there's a special or there's a trick or something to it. There is no trick. Somewhere inside you just know this.
So you don't have to stand on a hilltop in the full moon with your feet in a bucket of eel water and paint yourself red.
None of that. And it's learning to practice. It's like take a deck of tarot cards and sit there and shuffle them and have some of your friends or family that they just want to try this. They just want to experiment and they just give you permission. So they flip a card and they look at the card and they say, oh, this is just what I'm getting. This is the image. This is the stuff. This is what I need to tell you. This is what I want to share. You put down the card, you flip another one, and somewhere inside you there's something. Or you close your eyes and you see a picture. This is what I'm being shown. This is what is there. With me, there's many, many, many factors to what I do and I channel. I don't just go like, fart, and my head is blown wide open, and God went, doo-doo-doo, he farted, his crown chakra is open, okay, dive in there, angels, and make things happen.
Joe jokes.
It's a thing.
So basically, it's becoming aware of energy, becoming aware, but trusting yourself. Because people like saying, I imagined this, or I dreamed this, or I daydreamed, and I this or that. Oh, I heard it from here and there. And they blow it off. But if you went, oh, this is really interesting, where or how did this come in? It's like a lot of people ask, is my ancestors around me? Is my grandma? Or is this person, that person? I'm like, yeah, they're there. But are you paying attention? If you're always smelling apple pies and you always love going to grandma's because every time you went there she baked you an apple pie, then that smell you're smelling when you're in the gas station and when you're all over different places and nobody's cooking pie and you're smelling it, that's grandma letting you know she's there. So when you're channeling, you have to start trusting yourself. You have to start realizing you're like a TV. And with a TV, I can switch you to different channels. I can even switch you to foreign channels that speak different languages and that. And your body is like a TV. All the layers of your aura, all your energies, your chakras, your crown chakra, your back chakras, all the energies of the earth and everything, it's like you're this TV. And depending on the channel you want to be on, it's like you focus on your family. Sometimes you're focusing, you're like, I think my mom is sick. I should just give her a call. You phone her up. Hey, Mom, what's going on? Oh, I just caught a cold and flu and I'm not feeling really well. How did you know that? Why did you call Mom? Why did you get worried inside and go, geez, how did I know that? So somewhere you channeled that and you turned that station on. If it was station 50, that's your mom. Every time you think of her, your TV goes, oh, station 50. And you start focusing on Mom, all of a sudden you start picking up on things. If you got a friend that's living, say, somewhere in the Blue Hills in the States, and his name's Joe Bob or something, and his channel is 100, every time you think of Joe Bob, all of a sudden this stuff starts coming through. And you start going, oh, this is really interesting. Write it down. Don't go, no, it's my imagination. Oh, it's a dream. Oh, I made it up. Start writing it down. Write all these weird, strange things down and then go back to it in a week's time and check off everything that came true. You're going to start going, oh, okay, I must be channeling something. I don't know how to operate the channels. I don't know how to operate the switch, but somehow I'm dialing into something and it's a channeling.
There is a question, a little separate from that, is there a reason why someone on here is feeling like tension or anxiety in her solar plexus after you did the prayer.
Yeah, because she's afraid of letting something go. Because something in the prayer was really, really big and she's trying to hang on to something. And like I say, there's a belief inside her. And she has to just sit, put your hands over your solar plex, just sit there for a bit, close your eyes, quiet yourself down, and just ask all the good loving energy to flow through. And just breathe into your solar plex. Just breathe into that spot for a little bit. And just let it just sit there, and you may feel something lift out and release. And this is where when things are new and other kinds of things, it's like I say, people are really, really sensitive, but they don't pay attention to it. A lot of people turn to drugs and booze to numb themselves so they won't feel anything. And they'll smoke dope all the time, or they'll drink every evening when they get home, and they'll numb themselves. But once you stop numbing yourself, all of a sudden you start feeling everything. You go by grandma and she's got arthritis, and all of a sudden you're going, what's going on? You need to go and have a smoke, or you need to go drink something, because when I'm around grandma, she got arthritis, and I just start getting all So this is where you become conscious of things. Like I say, there's all kinds of different energies.
It's funny because we get to watch it twice.
Yeah.
It's like it happens, you do it, and then there's a delay, and then it happens again.
Yeah. I just saw you like freaking out on the stream.
Yeah. So this is where, like I say, these prayers are really, really big. And if you're really, really wanting change, the universe connected you to this. There's an answer. There's something to heal, bring change, or something that's going to go on. And they're all your angels. You got to understand this. It's not Beelzebub. It's not me doing abracadabra and all of that. It's like when you're inviting this, I don't know who you are out there in the world. I'm staring at the back of a camera here. Cindy and Mercedes are there reading what questions and comments and things going on. I'm just staring into the camera here. And so when I say give permission for the Creator to come in, that's the first and foremost thing. You always want to have God, the universe, the light, whatever supports everything to come in. Once it does that, you give it permission to expand everything. And like I say, you have relatives. Say your granddad passed to the other side and you and him were very close and he loved you very much. Maybe he's right there and he's been your angel and you're not really aware of it. So he will come in because now God's energy in him, you've given them permission, and you ask your whole house to be filled with all this awareness. You ask for it to come into your aura, into your chakras, into your etheric, and you asked everybody in your home to be protected. So they have angels that protect them. And this is your gang. I have my own posse. I keep my posse. My partner has a posse. My friend here, she has her posse. We all have our own posse, but still God comes in, and sometimes even more beautiful angels that need to connect with us and the future, because we don't know this. I have read, I have searched, I have looked for answers to help people in this way, and I try to share this knowledge, so I incorporate it in a prayer because they are very, very intelligent. Some of them are ancient. Some of these angels and that are billions of years old. That's why in the natives we say grandmothers and grandfathers, because they're the most loving, kind, wise, gentle beings, and they're there to do something to change your life. They're not there to scare you. They're not there to hurt you. They're there to assist you, to do whatever they can. They know who you are. They can see your path. They can see where you're stuck. And if you really want their help, they're going to do many beautiful, magical things for you. And the more you want it, even bigger, the universe will bring it in. And whatever is going to go on, and if you're meant to be gifted, if you're meant to be a prophet, a seer, a healer, or meant to be toning, or whatever it is, if you're meant to use your hands as a massage therapist or cranial sacral, or whatever kind of energy work you do, God's going to bless it. So when your hands touch something, man, things are going to happen. And this is the universe. And you're sitting there on the other side, wherever that is, with your phone. I'm not walking around in your living room and other kinds of things. And there's just more and more, like I say, we call God. So God's energy is radiating everywhere. We ask it for the Earth Mother, for all kinds of other things. So there's a lot of energy. And some of us got scared as children and we shut off our abilities. And we tried to keep them shut off. And now we're seeking that. We're trying to find that. So in these prayers and things, like I say, you were brought to this for a reason, and it's not to scare you or harm you, it's to bring even more good things into your life.
What do you have to share on what happens in the spirit world and where do the bad people go?
Like the Buddha says, there's 10,000 hells, and there's all kinds of higher realms. Everybody is different. Everybody has a thought, because whatever you think and believe, that's what you're going to manifest. That's what God's going to create for you. So there's many, many kinds of belief all around that. And there's a lot of really, really cool books about the universe and how loving and great and big the universe is, and more expanded than what Christianity wanted to show us in a box. And there are others, and this is where when you go into the fourth, fifth dimension, we're going to release all of that. That's all old 3D paradigm stuff. And we're going to incorporate the new future big things, which are even higher energies. Because part of the thing with the lower things is people are still going through evolution. Some people are just in their base chakra. They call them newbies. So a lot of newbies are in their base chakra and their second chakra. So they might be there for 100,000 years learning and playing around in those two lower chakras. After 100,000 years, all of a sudden it's like, pooh, there's something different, something new. And all of a sudden they activate the next chakra and they start realizing there's something bigger and more. And then they activate the next one after a period of time. After about 250,000 lifetimes, you've explored and done a lot of stuff. Good, bad, silly, right, wrong. You've done it all. You've been a man, a woman, you've been a saint, you've been this, you've been a monk, you've been a nun, whatever it is. You've explored it all. You went to just about every culture, every kind of practice. You've went in and you've learned these things. And now it's like a lot of people now, they want to go into this higher plane. So they don't want to waste time. They don't want to create karma. They don't want to keep repeating the old. They want to change that. They want to be a part of something in the future. And maybe they're going to be 1,000 years old, maybe 10,000 years old, maybe older. But they want to undo what's here in the 3D and they want to step into this higher place. So you can't judge your life, and I always say when you look back on your life, no matter what you do, look for the strengths. Why did you survive it all? Why are you here? I survived lots and lots and lots of things, and I'm here. And I look at my past, I don't go, oh yeah, when I smoked dope and when I did drugs and I OD'd and all this other stuff. Oh, bad boy. You don't deserve to go in heaven. You're not good enough. I look at it and go like, shit, man, I survived that. That was crazy. So why did I survive it? Why am I here? What is the strength I got from that? So start looking for whatever it is, because it gave you something or you wouldn't be here. You're wanting change and things like that. So allow these things to help you and empower you.
Mohawk Lady is asking about spiritual attacks, them being real and or bad medicine from people, or is that fear? She says that she's Native and she heard that it is.
All three of them are true. And it all depends, because in the Native we say good medicine and bad medicine. Good medicine is the prayer I'm praying and the things I'm doing that's going to help change your lives. Bad medicine is I want to harm you, I want to destroy you, I want to wreck your lives, I never want to see you happy, and I don't care what goes on, I want to see you all miserable. So I'm going to do everything to create that. If a person is doing that, they have to take their own energy. They have to take their energy and they have to use it in a way that literally will do some sort of harmful, distorted thing. And say you go to a medicine man and the medicine man prays over you and he sees something there that doesn't belong, and somebody, say, in the native community or somewhere else is doing some form of bad medicine, or they're jealous and they're using energy, and he prays over you and that energy releases from you. The thing is, it's like a boomerang. Wherever the energy came from, it's going right back to whoever sent it. So you can even ask your angels, can you clear and release this and return it to whoever has done this? You're not judging them, you're not punishing them, you're just asking the universe to deal with it. If it goes back to the person, that person needs to realize never do that to another people, because it can get really, really bad and it can harm that person even worse than what they're thinking towards you. And this is something that goes on. In Christianity, in the Bible, they have binding spells. They literally bind people. So they pray and they do things that seal energy around people. It's like when I was going into native spirituality and I was going into a lot of other stuff my mother didn't understand, and she's native, but she was in residential school and she has fears around, all kinds of things, and she thought that what I was doing was really bad. Her and my sisters joined the Jehovah's Witness, and they know about native spirituality and all kinds of stuff, and they thought I was doing evil things, so they were praying for me. And they were asking God to stop me and bring me back into the church and save me. They were commanding Archangel Michael and all kinds of stuff, and they were doing binding spells and all kinds of things through the Bible, and they were getting the church to pray and everything. And I'm like, they're interfering in my life. I says, it's okay for my mom to pray and believe and do this, but I don't give permission for all these spirits to come in and bully me around. Because I love the world. I love people. I love the Creator. I love everything. I love lots of things about Christianity. I love lots of things about Buddhism and all kinds of other things. But my mom thought she was protecting me. So whenever she opened the Bible and she read something and she started praying in the name of Jesus and in the blood and all the other things and the seals and whatever she commanded, and she was getting archangel waves flaming stored around me and all kinds of stuff, and I'm like, you're interfering in my life. And I always pray for my mom, and I always say, look, I'm saying pray for my mom, but if she doesn't accept and doesn't want this, then the energy won't affect and alter or change her life. She can go on doing what she is. But this is where I put a stipulation in my prayers. Sometimes I'm like, this person asked me to pray for them, so I'm going to pray this. But if they don't really want, or they're not willing to accept this energy, it's just going to return to the universe. It's not going to harm them, or it's just going to sit there. And one day they're like, oh yeah, Joe prayed for me, I really want that. And then all of a sudden this stuff comes in, changes their life, brings really wonderful blessings. Because I'll tell people that, you want me to pray for you? I'm going to tell your angels, your ancestors, God, whoever, that you want me to do this prayer, and when I'm praying, you want all these good things to come into your life. So with the Christianity, there is bindings, there's other kinds of stuff. And in sorcery, there's negativity and black magic and that's intentionally harming people. And there are angels, you have ancestors, you have guardians. You can even talk to the Earth Mother. You can talk to a lot of spirits, and you can say, well, this is going on. This is where you call it into your home. So all these spirits, all these things are going to look at your whole family, your life, your home, and they're going to see what kind of stuff is going on. Don't fear it. Because if you're fearing it, you're empowering them to affect you. Some people, they come up to me and they threaten me, and oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, me and my friends, and all kinds of stuff. And they try to make me afraid, and I'm like, but if I believe in God, do whatever you want, because I don't have any fear of you. And at some point, if you're doing this and I'm tired of it, I'm going to ask God to look into it, and I'm going to ask God to find a way to teach you a lesson. Don't bother with me. I'm not bothering with you. And maybe I'll say a really good prayer that might help heal and change you. But this is where some people, they want to be angry and they want to do certain destructive things, and they'll learn practices and do that. So those three things. But the one thing, if you really believe in light, you really believe in angels, you really believe in guardians and ancestors and all these good kinds of things, then you can't be harmed. And you can ask. Well, how can I deal with this? Is there some spiritual person or somebody I can go to? And like I say, this energy will release. But if you're calling God into your home and your angels and every kind of good thing and your children's, your husband's, your grandma, your grandpa, whatever it is, your house is filled with that and you will be protected. It will change everything.
There's lots of questions rolling in, and this is just happening fast. Rosa asks, hello, my husband dreamed that he was battling evil spirits protecting me. Could it have been real?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, on some level, he is aware of something, and this is where there's many dimensions, and maybe on some level, and maybe this could be from a past life you and him contracted.
Mm-hmm.
So in that lifetime, maybe you protected and did all kinds of things for him. He came in this lifetime to come in and marry you and fulfill and honor and give back to you by protecting you. So in this, there's something going on that's his subconscious, and like I say, the subconscious plays things out in different ways. And like I say, whatever that is, I think if you both really wanted to, the universe will assist you, because when you dream something, it usually manifests and creates. So maybe you guys are outside of, say, some grocery store, and you're standing there, and a whole bunch of really nasty people come along, and they think you're alone, and your husband's busy. He turns around, and these people are doing something, and he comes over and defends you. They run off, and you guys go to your car and drive away. So this might be what the evil things are in his dream.
Also, in terms of like just the topic itself, asking for your spiritual family has been a topic for a while too, because those are the people that will protect you.
Exactly. And this is where the minority, it's like God's spiritual people, and that. There's 7 billion people on the planet, and there's certain people that really believe in God. They really believe in angels. They really believe in good. And it's like you want to have your spirit family. You want to have people you can talk about any kind of subject on spirituality, ghosts, good spirits, any kind of cultural race, belief. And these people will listen to you. And none of them will ever think you're crazy. Oh, this is what I was seeing in channeling, and this is what's been going on. Or it's like, oh yeah, I understand. And they will pray for you. They will find ways to assist you and help you. They will do things, and in their thoughts and prayers and their care and their love for you, it protects you. Their thoughts and prayers for you, and it's like it goes back and forth. It's like me, I pray for people all the time. I'm always wanting to get answers and ways to help people out of difficult things. There's things I learned years ago, and just a friend the other day that lives in New York. And I was communicating, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, you need to connect and find this. And I had come across something 11 years ago, and it came in, and I was like, oh, I need to share this with her. And if she links with this person and this thing, it may be able to help heal or change her life. So I sent that information to her, so she's investigating it, and we'll see what it does. If it's the right thing, it's going to change her life.
Do you believe in crystals for healing and protection?
Yeah, I believe crystals are a living energy. I always carry crystals. I always have crystals. I got crystals around the home. A really, really neat one was I was living on Denman Island. And this was in like year 2000, somewhere back in that time. And there was a guy that used to sit outside the bookstore. Like there's a tiny little downtown on this island. There's a tiny little downtown core where everybody comes. There's a store, and there's a coffee shop and a bookstore and a few other things. And this guy would sit there every Saturday, and he put out all his rocks. And I would meet my friends down there, and we would go and have coffee, and we'd sit around, we'd discuss our week and things that were going on, and sharing knowledge, talking about books and spirituality and stuff. And so I meet my friends, and we're standing out on the road trying to figure out what we want to do first, and we're maybe going to go and hang out, maybe get together for supper or something. And he was sitting there, and I saw this little tiny pyramid, clear quartz crystal pyramid, small one. And I was staring at it, and the voice inside me says, go and get that. And I'm like, I got all kinds of crystals. I got this crystal, that crystal. I got all this stuff. And the voice says, go and get that. And at the time, uh, I remembered Jay-Z Knight and her experience. And she lives in Yelm, Washington. She has a school of, Ramtha's School of Enlightenment. And she was at home one day and she took a pyramid, I think it was a metal one, and she sat it on top of her head. And she was sitting there just playing around, and all of a sudden this voice started talking through her, and it freaked her right out. And I thought, oh, hey, this clear crystal, man, I'm going to sit on my head, and I'm going to plug in, and all kinds of stuff going to talk through me. And in my mind, I'm thinking this. So I go over and I ask the guys, like, what is, the price? He tells me, so I buy it off him. And I take it home. I get home, and I'm like, okay, put it on my head, sit there and meditate. Okay, no angels, no aliens, no Ramtha, no anything. Oh, I'll put it down. And I did this for about a month. I tried all kinds of stuff. Finally got really, really frustrated. I'm like, now I got this crystal. Now I got to pack this around. I got to take care of it and all of this stuff. So I took it and I put it away with all these crystals, and I wrapped it up really nicely and just stuck it away. And it was maybe 6 months had gone on, and I absolutely forgot about this crystal. And I'm sitting downstairs and that, and the voice inside says, go get the crystal. And I'm like, what? It said, go get the crystal. I'm like, okay, what the hell now? And I'm like, do you want me to get this one or this one? It's like the one you just bought. So I go upstairs and I unwrap it. And I go downstairs and I'm like, okay, now it's going to tell me to put it on my head. And da-da! I'm going to be the coolest Chandler, man. Like, woo-hoo! I'm all freaking excited. And I'm just like, yeah. Now it's going to be really magic. So I'm sitting there and the voice says, lay down. I'm like, what? No, I thought it was going to go on my head. Lay down. I'm like, all right. So I lay down on this couch, and it says, put it on your chest. So I stuck it right on top of my chest, and I smoked really lots. And I'm laying there, and all of a sudden I feel this really weird sensation, like something literally gets pulled out of my chest. And I'm like, whoa, what was that? And I'm like, not sure. And should I get up? Shouldn't I get up? And I'm laying there, and I'm like, something weird happened here. Like, I got this crystal on my chest. And then the voice said, get up and look at it. So I take this absolutely beautiful, clear quartz crystal. I take it off my chest and I lift it up, and it's got this black, dark, ugly, tarry thing inside it. It literally pulled something right out of my chest. I don't know how the universe and the crystal did it, but somehow it did that for me. And after that, I quit smoking very easily. All of a sudden, quit smoking. And like I say, I didn't expect that. That wasn't something I was looking for or planning or anything like that. There's times I go in rock stores and I say, hey, is there any rock in this store that wants to come home? And right away I get pulled over somewhere. Or sometimes I'll hear me and I'm like, what? And I start looking around and I'll try to find the little voice I hear. I never go over and grab rocks. I always put my hand over it and I always feel. I'm like, which one wants to come home with me? And I'll put my hand down. The one that's giving the strongest energy, that's the one I'll pick up. And sometimes I'll tell my partner, I say, here, hold this energy. What do you think? And it's like, this energy is going crazy. I'm like, it's coming home with us. So, yes, I believe crystals can heal. I believe they're super, super intelligent. And we're going to understand that more. But the crystals will never do what they did in Atlantis times. Because it did something really, really big, but then it got used in a destructive way. And the crystals said they will assist us to a certain point. But we can all heal, we can all do all kinds of things, so it's there to support us and do all kinds of stuff. But yes, crystals are very powerful, very beautiful, and they can do amazing things.
Do you remember all of your channelings?
Yeah.
All of them, though I have a lot of memories. It's really, really interesting because sometimes there's times where I may have met somebody 5 years ago. and my partner is with me, and I'm like, oh, this person, and I'll say, this is what I saw and this and that, and the person sits down, and I'm like, oh yeah, when I last saw you, these are the kinds of things I shared and I told you. And they're like, whoa, you got a really good memory. I'm like, no, I don't have a good memory. It's like your angel is there, activated my mind, and I'm just recalling all these things that came through for you, because maybe there's something more I need to share, or I need to say where you 5 years ago came to me and where now things have changed. So there's all kinds of different dynamics in it all. I don't try to remember everything. It comes through on its own when it wants to.
But that in itself is still channeling,
Yeah.
right? Because it's just like everything's accessible at all times
Exactly.
to anyone. So you.
So the one thing, when you get into spirituality and you get into all these things, it's like there's left brain and right brain, right? And if you can really see in the energetic fields, you're going to see a little tiny antenna going up here and this one here. And it goes to a modem right here. So there's this little modem, and you're like, I want an answer to, I watched a movie and I'm trying to remember what it was. I'm trying to remember the name or the actors or whatever in the movie. And these two parts of the brain are analyzing what you're thinking. And then all of a sudden it goes, oh, and it sends it to the modem. The modem goes, starts dialing up. Like how we have modems, or we used to have modems. And then once it has the right information, it fires up to another one. So there's this little triangle that goes up like this, and there's a bigger energy here. And it hits that energy, and it activates. If the energy isn't stored there, it goes to a bigger energy above that that has all the information, everything that's gone on in your life since you were born. And it even has your past life, all your lifetimes, everything that ever went on. It's recorded in this higher plane. So when people go in their minds, they dig around in their brain, they walk around in this mushy thing inside their skull, trying to find answers and trying to figure things out. But when you really understand, there's something that goes to a modem that goes up to this higher place, and if it's not there, then it'll go even higher, and you'll access a lot more things. And knowing these kinds of things, you can get the universe to teach and show you all of this. And this is part of the channeling. This is part of accessing things, because there's lots of different layers and there's lots of different things. That's where your brain, when you're asking it a question, there's a doorway, there's something that opens and closes, and then that makes that response happen, and then you start receiving. It starts coming in. It's like you meet somebody, say you were in kindergarten with, and as soon as you see them, it triggers, and all of a sudden you remember back in kindergarten, oh, this is what we did. And yeah, you used to stay down the road, and I used to stay here, and we were good friends. But something happened, you moved off, now you've come back together. But there's something in your brain that activated for you to bring that memory back through. And that's part of the channeling, that's part of the awareness. And you can channel anything. You can channel future, you can channel past, you can connect with other worlds, you can connect with other kinds of galaxies and that, and it all comes through somewhere and then down into you, and you'll either speak it out or you watch it in your mind, either decide to share it or you keep it to yourself.
Your healing sessions, like your clearing, energy clearings, do you ever see yourself possibly doing them on lives on TikTok?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I might experiment and try it. It's not something I've asked the universe about. But there's so many different dynamics in that, and it's really, really hard to do that, because there's a lot of people on here and I pick up on a lot of things, and it's really hard if I can't just have this direct link.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I need to know the name and where they're at and other kinds of things to be able to link, like literally get the spirits, the universe, not to give me that direct link, because there's so many other people. There might be 10 dollies on this, and I say, oh yeah, well, I'm going to focus on Dolly. Well, there's 10 of them, and the universe is like, yeah, you said Dolly, now there's 10 of them. Which one of them am I actually focusing on?
So I was saying the healing that you do comes through the prayer that you do and offer on these live TikToks, hey? and the
Yeah,
channels.
and it's the belief. It's what I understand and know of the universe. And there's many thousands of kinds of healings that go on. Your mind might only specifically focus on one kind of thing and it only understands one concept. But it could be healing on ancestral lines. It could be healing you and releasing past life stuff. It could be changing and shifting an energy around you so you come in contact with somebody else and it changes something. So healing is really big. It's not, I got a gout and that's all I focus on is the gout. It's like there's a lot more other kinds of dynamics and things, and even family. Sometimes I'm in personal working with a person and I'll see mom, dad, I'll see sisters and brothers and other things, and energies and spirits and angels come in because they're going to stay with this person and they have something for each person. So healing is really big when it comes to the universe. It's not just a word or one thing.
Do you do anything to prepare for these lives?
I always say prayers that everybody will receive what they need to receive because you're somewhere on the world and God knows. So if you wanted something and the universe all of a sudden you're on this and there's just an energy that comes in and it relaxes you, makes you feel good or whatever. There's a spirit or angel or something because they know before I even come on this. They already see the future. They know everything that's going to go on in the 2 hours or whatever it is I'm going to be on at the time. So the Creator is always doing that because it's always answering people's prayers. It's always trying to find a way to assist and help. And you have spirits around you, and while you're sitting and talking, if you've given permission, now they're all coming in and they're all doing things. Like in the natives, we always say before we go to sleep, oh, my back's hurt, or oh, my arm's hurting, or something's going on. Can you please doctor my body while I'm sleeping? It's really amazing what will go on, and you wake up in the morning like, ooh, I feel really good. It's like, it's amazing when you really ask and trust. And like I say, in the natives, we say doctor, we don't say healing. Because something gets changed, something goes on with energy. And the grandmothers, grandfathers, angels, or whatever you want to call them, or you reference them, they're going to doctor you. There's an energy, there's something that's not vibrating right. They're going to try to find a way to remove that and implant and bring in a new energy that will bring change.
Our friend Bill here, Bill's been on previous lives before. He says he says that he's felt your prayers before and he returned them to you.
Oh, wow, thank you, appreciate that.
And someone else, Barb, says that she prays for you every day.
Oh, thank you, I really appreciate it. As you guys, Mercedes is reading this light around this phone of mine with the camera on it keeps going green and everything. So whatever spirits are doing, it's just changing the colors and that. It's just seeing the auric energies and stuff. So lots of good blessings because whenever I see green, I believe it's God's love. Because green is the biggest energy. It's in the plants. It's in everything. You see an elephant, it eats all this green leaves and grass and everything. And look at how huge this animal gets off it. You look at water, you go to a lake and it's got this beautiful greenish blue color. It's alive and living. It's just, and green is so nourishing and it's part of the heart chakra. The heart chakra is not just pink, it has green in it. And it's God's love in everything. It's like the chlorophyll or whatever the sun does. It's a very nourishing, powerful, healing energy.
So when I was at my friend's house today, her son, you've met him before, he had a dream last night that a meteor was coming to Earth, and then it exploded and became a whole bunch of different like smaller pieces that were green and pink, and then it was all smoke, and then he woke up and it was smoky in the valley.
Wow, cool.
Yeah.
Because there are going to be meteors coming to this planet, so there's a lot of things on that one, but when that one happens, everybody will understand at that time.
So when he said green and blue, I was like,
I like what Tammy just said. God is in all colors.
Yeah. And that's where in the Bible it says God's love is the rainbow. Whenever you see it in the sky, that's God's peace between man and everything. And God is every spectrum even in the dark, even in the darkest, blackest place, that God is there. And one of the greatest mysteries is to be in the darkest, blackest places and find and discover God.
Do you have suggestions for it? Because Krista here says, I feel disconnected from God and I have never felt this before. What do I do?
This is where you invite that energy to come in. Because through anger, through some kind of belief, some kind of distortion, there's like a plastic or a veil or a blanket or something around you that's not allowing this energy to come in and through. And give it permission to come into your aura or into your chakras, wherever that disconnect is. Even I tell people to ask to open your crown chakra and let every ultraviolet light go through your crown, down into your brain, down into your third eye, down into your throat chakra, and just keep bringing it through your body. As it's going through your body, ask every cell, every organ, every bone, every one of your chakras to absorb all these different energies and light. And it's okay for them to do that, because it'll change things. You have to give permission for this. And maybe you got mad and told God, no, I don't want that, so it's shut off. Now you can ask him to activate it.
What do you think healing will be in the future? How will we do it? How will it be done?
In the future, I don't think people are going to get sick.
Perfect.
If you're in the fourth and fifth dimension, I don't believe there's going to be any lower energies, and there's going to be any reason for you to get sick or have problems with eating or disorders or anything. You're just going to be in the most loving energy that wants to keep you alive for millions and millions of years. And you get to decide all these things, and you're only going to manifest and create with love and light. You're never ever going to do something disharmonious, because you can't be in the fourth and fifth dimension if that's the energy you carry. You cannot be in there until you are just wanting to do everything for the goodness and to live, because you're going to want to understand God. You're going to want to live to be very, very old. You're not just going to live 80 years and then fart and fall over. You're going to like I want to be 250 years old. And when I get there, I'm like, maybe I want to be 1,000 years old. And I can ask God, bless me to be 1,000 years old. But that energy will heal, change, and do everything. And it's like, it's a new thing. And even the angels can't tell us what we're going to be like when we step into this newness. They can say little things because they understand energy. But until we're all in there and doing things and that, and we move way into the future, then they can start really telling us like all the different kinds of things. But it's something very beautiful and new, and it's going to be a new Eden. The earth is going to rebirth again. She's going to create new fauna. The animals are changing. Everything is transforming, and we're going to be the new Adams and Eves. You look at all these little children. There's a TikTok Cindy was showing me the other day. This little boy of 8 years old in England. He's talking about all kinds of really, really spiritual, amazing, deep, 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 deep things. And he's just channeling it. He's just seeing it. And he's bringing all this wisdom into the world. And he's just this tiny little boy. And the children are that way. They don't see the past anymore. They don't fear it. They don't understand the past. They're looking at the future and how they're going to change the world. They already know all kinds of things. And they carry that energy inside them. Some of them know they're going to be very, very old. And that's not 80 years old when I say very, very, very old.
80 is basically just getting started.
Yeah, you're a teenager. And thank you all. Like, truly, truly thank you for allowing me into your homes and wherever you're at. If you're work at night, whatever it is, thank you for wanting to sit and listen to me. I like to share, and I can only explain and talk about things from my point of view. I've read, I spent years and years and years reading, but I've channeled, I've gone in and out of ceremonies and experienced things, and lots of other people out there are experiencing, because things are accelerating. One of the things about the earth is she vibrated for millions of years now in the 7th hertz, like the electric engineers and others, when they monitor the energy, the earth, it was at 7 hertz. This is the energy she generates as she's spinning. But she's going to start bringing that energy up, that vibration. And people who are part of the future, you have to want to absorb this new energy. And there's also new ultraviolets, because as the energy speeds up, it changes our chakras, it changes the way the spectrums of the ultraviolets and things come in. And the Earth Mother needs to get up into this higher energy, because she's going to transform. Like I say, she's going to rebirth. She's going to create a whole new Eden for us to live on. She's going to take old parts of the earth down that are depleted and that can't support life, and they need to heal. She'll take them down into the earth and bury them for maybe a few million years, and then she'll push them back up in the future, where they will now be all rejuvenated, and they're going to create and do all kinds of wonderful things then. So she's going to bring her energy up to 11. And one of the things is the earth rotated on its axis for a very long time. And now where North Pole used to be here, it's moved. So the earth is on a tilt axis, and it wobbles every now and then. The scientists have known this for a long time. They know about this wobble. And then she'll do something to adjust to stop the wobble and try to stay at this point and keep turning. But she can't do it for very, very long. She has to roll. She has to do something to disperse the energy, and then she'll sit in a whole new way. So she'll be sitting this way and she'll be spinning, and there won't be any more wobble. So where the North Pole and South Pole axis is going to be a new alignment. From my understanding, the earth was this way, but it's going to gently roll, and where the equator was, the equator is going to move up here, but she's not going to flip right over. She's not going to do a polar flip. She's going to gently roll, because she's doing a lot of things, and it's part of the future where things are going to come up, where things are going to go down, and it's going to readjust her energy so she can spin on that axis for another 60,000 years or something before she decides to do it again. And when you think of a baby and a mother, when the fetus is starting to form, it moves. Every so often it moves. And as it's growing in that, it readjusts and it tries to find the right space to be in inside mom before it's birthed. Even when it's birthed, it has to flip to be able to come in alignment to come into the world. So the Earth Mother, she does that. And they have proven scientifically. You can go to India, China, all over the world. You can talk to scientists, and they can see this in the layers. Even with the North Pole, South Pole, and they drill down in the ice, they can see these different stages of evolution and different things. So the Earth Mother does this, and she wants to gently roll because she wants to start new again, but she doesn't want to start from the beginning. And as her energy goes bigger, it's going to support and it's going to create new. So we're all just going to step into that newness. So these are kinds of things to think and understand, and pray for her to evolve. Pray for her to get to that 11 hertz. Pray for her to move. Pray for her to have the earthquakes and the transformation, so parts of the earth can sink down, new ones can come up, so she can support life. Don't tell her to stop. Don't fight with her. Bless her. She needs to be blessed. She has to know we're willing to be a part of this whole process, and we want God to bless her, and we want to hold energies, and we want to love her like she's loved us for millions and millions and millions of years. So think about that. Think about how maybe even you can ask God to allow energy to flow through you straight into the earth. You don't need to use the energy. It's just like a battery. You're just allowing her, as much as she needs, just moves through you right to her core, so she decides what she needs to do with it. Don't tell her. Don't tell her what to do. Try to ask her, how can you work with her and support her?
That's awesome, because as you said, that Barb's was asking, so if she raises her vibe, then we have to as well in order to be here.
Yes. And that's the whole process of evolution, and she's done this for millions and millions and millions of years. We didn't just appear on this earth 100,000 years ago. We've been here for millions of evolutions. We've been growing and growing and growing and all kinds of things. And we're in the next stage, and this is going to really transform us. It's the age of Aquarius. There's many, many wonderful things going to go on for the next 1,000 years, and in 1,000 years you look back, we're going to be like, man, we were cavemen. Like the year 2000, man, those people were like cavemen. We're going to be so advanced. We're going to connect with our star brothers and sisters, other worlds and galaxies, and it's going to be a very beautiful, amazing, like I say, newness. Do you really want to be a part of it? Look at yourself. Are you really willing to receive? Are you really willing to let go of things and really realize it all comes from the Creator? Whatever it is, if it's a good thing, you're going to find yourself in the future. It's going to bless your home, your life, and everything around you. And it's going to support you in every way. Usually I do the go away prayer, but I'll do that later tonight because I'm going to ask the spirits to come in and for the next at 9 o'clock. So
Yeah.
I'll do the going away prayer after. The spirits know this. So when I do that, then they'll journey on. Whatever you need that needs to release, give it all permission. If there's old angels, ancestors, whatever, things from past lives and that, just allow the universe to clean it up. Bring in the new spirits and angels to support you on your new journey as you step into the new. And allow the Creator and all beautiful things to assist you in life. And it was wonderful to sit with you again. Hey, hey.